So there is a curse that most students face where when they come back to school after the summer holiday, they're sort of still in summer mode. And it takes them like 2-3 weeks to get back into the momentum and get back into school. And I know because this was my situation for so long. I went to engineering school, high school, all that stuff. And always the first 2 to 3 weeks were the most difficult. I would end up falling behind in my studies and I would have to catch up, and it was painful. I was so stressed because I was constantly behind. The semester became this treadmill of constantly being behind, catching up 1 week, but then being behind in another week, etc., etc. And I wouldn't even do anything interesting during those 2 weeks. I wouldn't go out and make friends. I wouldn't socialize. So in this video, I want to tell you how to make the most of your first weeks back into university, not just in terms of studies, but in terms of university in general. I'm going to give you a couple of tips that I've learned that have helped me get A's in engineering school. I graduated engineering with an A. Okay, the first one, this might seem lame. This might seem like common advice, but this is probably the biggest advice that has helped me. But you want to have a tidy space, a tidy room. Now hear me out. You're going to want to click off. You're going to think this is lame. I was that guy for a long time. I've been that guy who has had the most pristine, clean room in the world. Right now, you could probably consider that to be me. I mean, my room is decently clean because I know this tactic. But I've gone through periods where my room was a literal war zone. I'm not even kidding. Plates there, like clothes on the ground, all these different things. And the difference, and whenever I would get the willpower to clean up my room, the difference in energy I would feel, the difference in productivity, the reduction in procrastination, everything would completely just overhaul. It is one of the only quick fixes out there. So the tip I want to give you, and look, this is so many people's experience. The tip I want to give you is have your room, have your space as minimal as possible. Get rid of all that junk everywhere, because I don't know what it is, but when there's junk everywhere, your mind feels very unclear. I can't explain it until you actually go out there and experience it. But the first thing I want to tell you is have a pristine, clean study space and room and environment in general. And that process of actually cleaning your room will start to, it requires discipline to keep your room clean. You got to wipe the tables when it gets dirty. You got to put stuff away. And I used to think like, I'm better than that, man. I got to focus on my work. I can't focus on doing my bed every day. But when you do those small tasks, basically it trains you to do something when you don't feel like doing it. And that skill of doing something when you don't feel like doing it is called discipline. And when you build discipline in these areas, the discipline actually transfers to your studies. So when you're disciplined to keep your space clean, which when I am in seasons where I keep my place clean and I have the discipline to do that, the discipline literally translates to your studies. It translates to your work. So that's the first tip I want to give you. Keep your space clean, keep it minimal. Okay, the second tip I want to give you here is study every day, but make it a ritual. Now this might seem weird, like what are you talking about? Make it a ritual? Should I light candles? Should I have my plant Javier there? This guy's name is Javier, by the way. Should I have Javier there every day when I study? So what I mean by ritual is this tactic called habit stacking. So you want to plan your study sessions. First of all, make sure your study sessions are every day, because when they're every day, you spread out your workload, you get into the habit of turning up every day, and it becomes automatic. But basically, you want to stack your study habit on top of something else. So for me, I do my work first thing in the morning after I do meditation. For you, it might be right after breakfast. For you, it might be right after dinner. But pick some kind of thing that you can stack your study habit onto and begin doing the study first week of semester. Because basically, to build a habit, it takes frequency. The more times you turn up and study, the deeper the habit will be ingrained into you. So let's say for the first 2 weeks, you literally just turn up for 10 minutes every single day after dinner, every single day to study. By week 3, that habit will be so deeply ingrained into you, it'll be easy to do like 2-3 hours or whatever you want to do by week 3. So that's the second tip I want to give you. Stack your study habit on top of something else and begin to build that habit straight away. Okay, now the third tip I want to give you is, what if you don't know what to study? What if it's early in the semester and you're not sure what to do? You don't know how to get ahead. What do you do? Well, what I find the most difficult thing to do in any subject is to literally get started. Getting started studying the subject is the most difficult part. And the reason is because the subject is kind of like, a video game map is very like black, right? Like in GTA, the map is cloudy. Until you explore the map, then it starts to open up. The subject is kind of like that cloudy map in a video game. You don't know what topics you're going to learn. You don't know what assignments you're going to learn. There's zero clarity. So the most important thing I can tell you in the beginning is gain clarity. So what I do for the first week is I just gain clarity. I have a task, okay, go through the LMS, go through the subject page, go through the syllabus, look at what I'm going to learn, figure out the deadlines, put the deadlines in my calendar, all those things. Gain clarity on the subject. Once you're clear on what exactly you need to do in the subject, it becomes much easier to actually begin the studying. So if you don't know how to start, just literally give yourself a task. Okay, during this study session, I'm just going to gain clarity on this subject. That's it. So the next tip I want to give you is to make friends straight away in school and in your class. So friends, first of all, it's nice to socialize and everything in university. But also when you have friends in your class, you can collaborate with them. I've done that approach of being a lone wolf in my class, sitting on the wings of the lecture, not talking to anyone, and it's a much more difficult and boring experience than actually making friends in your class. But what if you're someone who's kind of socially, less capable, like I used to be, like I am? How do you make friends in your class? Well, okay, here's the tip I can give you. Basically, the most difficult part is breaking the ice. So I have this rule, whenever I go to like an event at university or whenever I go to a lecture, I start speaking as soon as possible. Because once you start speaking, you get this, I don't know how to explain it, this social momentum, and it becomes easier to talk to the next person. So when I would go to like, let's say a university event or something, or a sports club event, the first person I would see, I would say hi to them. Maybe even fist bump them, but at least just say hi. And once you get your mouth open talking to the first person, talking to the next person becomes way easier. And you just enter this social flow where it's much easier to just talk to everybody. If you do the opposite and you don't say hi to the first person, then you enter this sort of like resistance momentum where you're thinking, oh, should I say hi to him? Should I say hi to him? I don't know. And you get in your head. When you just say hi to everybody and you don't hold back, you don't have that voice in your head deciding who to talk to, because you just talk to everybody. So you don't get stuck in your head as much and you just start talking. So when I would go to a club event, I would literally just say hi to the first person. Then it would be much easier to say hi to him and him and him, and I would get into this social flow. Same thing in a lecture. Wherever you sit, say hi to the person as you're sitting down. Like, hey, good morning, how you doing? That's it. And then there might be silence for a while. And then when there's some free time in the lecture, you might be like, hey, have you done the homework? Or whatever. And that's the second thing. University is one of the easiest places to just get into conversations with people, because literally there's an excuse to talk. If you're in their class, you can literally say like, hey, have you done the homework? If you go to a club event, let's say it's a club about hockey, you can literally say, how long have you been playing hockey? If you go to a party, you can literally say like, how do you know the host? When did you get here? Very easy. But when you're in the adult world, it's much more difficult. You're standing next to someone in the elevator. So how's the weather today? Right? It's much less easier, much more difficult to begin a conversation and have it be natural. In university, it's completely normal. Like, no one thinks you're weird if you just say like, hey, how you doing? Nobody thinks it's weird if you say, have you done the homework? It's completely normal. That's it. The thing is, most university students, they don't like to talk. So have this rule where you will go first. If you go first, I guarantee most people are willing to talk to you. Right? But I do want to make this disclaimer. You gotta be clear with yourself. Why are you trying to make friends? Are you trying to make like deep connections with people, or are you just trying to vibe? So I think there's two kinds of friends you can make in university. The first one is like deep connections, people who you share similar values with, similar journey with. You really relate to them on a deep level. To be honest, I met hundreds of people in university, and only like maybe 2 or 3 people I would consider in this category. It's very, very rare, at least for me. Maybe your experience might be deeper. But the other kind of friend was just friends who it's fun to just vibe with, friends to, have fun with. And for those kind of people, it's kind of like you guys are just joking around, you're having fun, you know, maybe. And the third type of friend actually is a subject friend. So there's multiple types. But I like to come to these university sessions, I like to come to class with the mindset of, I'm just here to have fun. I'm not necessarily looking for a friend, because chances are, you know, if a friendship happens, it will happen naturally. So I come to these events with the mindset of just, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to amuse myself. I'm here to make jokes. I'm here to just have a good time. Or I'm here to, you know, that's it. I'm not here necessarily looking for a connection, looking for friends, because you can't really force that in university. At least that's what I've realized. So those are just some random tips. Make friends, especially in your class. It'll help you. So that's it. Hope this video helped. Let me know in the comments below if anything helped with you, if anything resonated with you. But apart from that, see you later.